It was OSU got out coached, outplayed.
Lucas Raymond is also from Sweden, so he's an 8-time goal scorer for one of those 2 games they have in Sweden. So I don't know which one it is, but it's going to be one of the 2. So lock
This
that.
doesn't make any sense. I was pissed. Fumble recovery happened. I'm going to be honest, I turned off the game. I checked back in. That was a fine.
D-backs here, baby. Come on.
Walking up to the table blind. I'm betting fucking blind.
We are back. What is going on, everybody? And welcome back to another episode of Sharps Sports Network. The boys are back on another Wednesday evening to recap the NFL draft, but most importantly, to recap the NHL and the NBA playoffs that are going on and in full swing right now because we got teams getting eliminated, so shit's starting to get real. But we got 3 out of the 4 fellas joining you. You got me, you got the Wander, you got Snoop Luke. Tycho is currently in Tennessee and may or may not join us for the back half of the pod, which will be primarily draft talk. So you're getting us for most of the pod. Well, that's great because most of the pod's going to be NHL and NBA. So I say we just kick it right into some NHL. We got playoffs going on, full swing. In my opinion, they're really good. I know Luke was a little pissed off about the fact that there were so many 3-1 series.
No, that's just how the first round works. Every year it happens like this. There's always there's too many five game series when they should be longer, but that's just the way hockey bounces. Let's just start off with the eliminations. The first elimination of the playoffs was the New York Rangers sweeping the Capitals for RIP. The games are kind of
real quick. I just want to know. Do you guys think if the Wings were in that Capital spot that we would have at least won one game?
We would have took it to at least 6.
Okay. I just
Penguins would have took it to at least 6. The Flyers would have taken it to at least 6.
Yeah.
I know the Caps got that spot and they did what they had to do to make the spot, but in my personal opinion, out of the 4 teams that were competing for that one spot, the Caps were the worst team to get that spot.
I just had to ask that before you went. Okay. Hell yeah.
I mean, they looked pathetic. I don't even think Ovi had a goal.
No, it was bad. Every game you tuned into, I was like, oh, the only games they stuck around in was the games where it was low scoring on the Rangers side. That was the only reason why they were sticking around. It wasn't like their offense was, going crazy with shots. It wasn't very good. And then the only thing that I actually was looking forward to in games 3 and 4 is this motherfucker Tom Wilson. He just wanted to fight Rempe, and Rempe was like, I don't need to fight you. So he wouldn't fight him, and all Tom Wilson wanted to do was primarily game 4 when he was like, we're not winning. It's just fight Rempe.
There's no need to for Rempe when the Rangers are just dominating. A big reason why a lot of that happened is just, Wilson was trying to get the boys fired up, get them back in the game /series, and there's no reason to even have Rempe risk that. I know he didn't play all the games in the series too. That's probably why.
Yeah, I agree. It was lopsided start to finish.
But next series in the conference, in the same the division. No, that's the word I was looking for. The Carolina Hurricanes eliminated the New York Islanders 4-1. I thought that should have been at least 6. That could have even went 7, but the Islanders choked away the first 2 games in dramatic fashion.
I want to ask because I am someone that's riding the Canes, and even I was like, okay, for us to score 2 goals in less than 15 seconds,
it was like 10 seconds.
The first time. And the second goal, how it happened. And then last night, for them to score 2 goals in 9 seconds, very similar, with the second goal being a goalie error out in front, puck in front, they score. I wanted to ask you, are the Islanders just that unlucky, or are
what happened in Game 5 was not the goalie's fault. It happens every once in a blue moon because almost every single team dumps and chases it. so a lot of them rim the puck. And yeah, they've made the connector between the glasses, or between pieces of glass. They made it as skinny, as small as possible to where it can actually hold the glass and still be durable, but enough out of the way where it doesn't come into much effect. But every once in a while, it comes into effect where the puck just hits it right, and as it's going there, it pops out, and it just literally popped down from the net. If it didn't do that, there would not have been a goal because the Islanders goalie was behind the net waiting for it to come around. Yeah,
Okay.
he could have stayed in the net and waited and all that, but in this day and age of hockey, goalies just don't do that.
Yeah,
And
it felt like deja vu seeing it twice, and it was like, this is insane.
it's really the first couple games that was on the Islanders. Game 5, that was just insanely bad luck.
Yeah, okay.
And then which put them up by 2, which they've been fighting like dogs. Like this was a really good series. I mean, yes, it was and it wasn't. Like ow.
What do you mean? I was gonna say. What do you mean by that?
But it was either the Canes dominating or the Islanders taken away. It was never back and forth. It was never like going back and forth on the goals. The Canes would go up, then the Islanders would fight back. The Islanders would go up. God damn, Jesse, that's loud.
I was like, is that Jesse or Luke? I couldn't figure out who that was. All right, I muted his
You
mic.
good? You good, Jesse?
I think he's.
Anywho, but that's just the way it was, especially Game 5. The Canes looked like they're surging on a nice, easy cruise to win it. And then the Islanders fought back and tied it up 3-3. And then 2 insanely quick goals, with one being a very bad bounce to make it a 2-goal game that just really put the Islanders away.
Jesse, do you have either thoughts on either of the New York teams, the Rangers advancing or the Islanders being eliminated?
I assumed both things would happen, so I said those two.
What are you moving? Who's
what is that static?
It's weird with the pod right now. I'm just like weird. Like
All
there's nothing different going on. Just this. StreamYard's being weird.
It literally sounds like you're like rubbing the mic and like moving it around, shifting.
What about now?
That's better.
We're great.
Moving on to the next series in the same conference. The Florida Panthers eliminated the Tampa Bay Lightning in 5. This was one of the best series in currently in this year's playoffs, but it only went 5. It's unfortunate. It was extremely back and forth. It was high pace hockey, very physical hockey. There wasn't really a moment in the game where, there's a couple moments where you're like, okay, this team's running away with it. That really wasn't the case. It was neck and neck, back and forth until the final buzzard in every single game. Florida just ended up being on top of them. It was just Tampa tried all they could, and they just couldn't get it done. They came out on top.
I feel like I was expecting myself to come out here and, Tampa in the first round and laugh. But the problem is I feel like I can't do that when I see the Panthers as a viable contender to win the Stanley Cup. Like, I see them as a top 4 contender. Like, I don't feel like I can sit on here and clown Tampa because I don't think it was a situation of Tampa played bad. I think it was a situation of Tampa played good and the Panthers were just better right now. And, you get things that go your way in hockey and this and that, but I thought I would be a lot more like, haha, Tampa, but I'm not because I feel like Florida's a juggernaut right now.
It was insanely back and forth. It was 5-1. That's just the way hockey bounces sometimes. But ultimately speaking, even after it's all said and done, either team could have pulled
Bless you, Jesse.
the series. It's crazy, and that's a scary thought. Like, imagine if Tampa moved on, playing that well, they could have went on their own run alone with that type of momentum and how they were playing. But moving on, I'm just going to do the eliminations right now. Moving on,
Oh yeah.
only one more. On the Western Conference, the Colorado Avalanche eliminated the Winnipeg Jets. In my opinion, the Jets just handed them the series. This series in almost every single game except for game one was a really good game for only about the first half of the game. And then Colorado just took over mostly in the third period, and the Jets just broke down. They just I don't know what it was. It was like they just forgot how to play. They would just get too down on themselves after Colorado scored late in the game. Colorado had a 2-goal lead, 30 seconds left, and they're playing and passing around, playing with the puck like they're only down by a goal. Like they're waiting for one shot to get a goal. Like they're acting like they were only down by one. They needed two. There was zero urgency in the final minutes to get a goal when they're down by two, which was insane to me. Like you're playing playoff hockey and you have zero urgency to get a goal. They're literally playing like they're down by one. That's what made no sense to me.
Yeah, and what I didn't understand is I was under the impression that Winnipeg had one of the better goalies in the league, and I think every game but one, Colorado was able to net 5 or 6 goals. And I was very like, okay,
every
game, yeah. So the first game I was nervous because I was like, or the first game I was excited because I was like, oh, these games are going to be crazy, right? Second game, similar vibe. But then Colorado just continued to put up 5-6 goals every game. If Winnipeg's not going to be able to do that.
The thing is, they were crazy for the first 2 periods of every season. Forgot about that there's a third period of hockey to play, and they just let the Avs just take over. Whether it was stupid penalty, like shame. At the beginning of the series, it was just stupid penalty after stupid penalty, and they were just getting it doesn't matter what team you are, you're not surviving a game and winning a game when Colorado is on the power play for over half the period. You're just not doing it.
Yeah. Jesse, I know you were upset about this. You were telling me before the podcast you were frustrated that Winnipeg was eliminated. Do you have any thoughts on this? And he's gone. Nope. You see what you did to him, Winnipeg? You made him so fucking upset. He doesn't even bear to talk about it.
They won like the last, I don't even know the exact number, 12 or 15 games of the regular season. They came in as the hottest team in the league.
Yeah, that's why I was
put on an absolute shit show.
That's why I was expecting this to at least go more than 5. I thought we were going to get 6 or 7, but
But they're an insanely streaky team. They would lose a lot and then they would win a lot. They'd lose a lot and then they would win a lot. And I guess going on that long of a win streak to finish the season was not the move.
Yeah. Do you wanna preview any of the series remaining, or do you wanna?
I was gonna go over them.
That's what I thought. I bet.
And just gonna bring it back to the Eastern Conference, just because there's only one series left, and it's Boston and Toronto. Toronto survived, winning in overtime last night in Game 5, and which is insane to say because in the third period, ultimately speaking, the first 2 periods, Toronto was really all over Boston, but it was still just a 1-1 hockey game. And then in the third period, it was like someone lit a fire under the Bruins' asses, and Boston was a game just flip flopped. Boston was absolutely all over them, dominating. They had 5 insanely good scoring chances that you're more often than not scoring, and they didn't score. They had multiple open nets. Fredericks had a mini breakaway, and he had the goalie down and out, and he tried to just tuck it on the ice instead of trying to lift the puck. If he lifts the puck, Bruins go up 2-1 late in the third period, and they probably seal the deal, but they don't. They keep the Leafs in the game. Or ultimately speaking, the Leafs goaltender kept them in the game.
I was just about to say that man made a couple saves. I was like, "Holy shit!" Yeah.
And Matthews did not play that game.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. Especially without Matthews,
Not-
you need somebody else to step up.
Not like he was playing in the other games, because that man has racked up a total, this like 69, 70 goal scorer has only racked up 1 goal this entire series.
Okay.
And ultimately speaking, I don't think Toronto is gonna storm back and whatever.
Something else we haven't talked about, and I know that this is like, I already missed the mark here, but I completely forgot to ask you because I did want to ask you. Stamkos, what is going on with him? A lot of
They're
rumors
just trying to figure out a contract. Both Stamkos wants to stay, Tampa wants him to stay. Both parties want him to stay in Tampa. Everyone's freaking out because there's not a contract signed. Like, Jesus, like this season wasn't even over before that. They have
I
all
didn't think anything
they
about
literally have
retirement until
all
the
off
broadcast.
season. It's not even really about retirement. Yeah, he
The
was kind of
broadcast is
soaking
over
all.
here. Well, what I mean by that is the broadcast over here, and like when they lose, and they're like, "Oh, look at Stamkos. He's the last person waiting for everybody to clear the ice. This could be the last time Steven Stamkos ever watches playoff hockey." And I'm like, or maybe he's the captain of his fucking team, and he wants all his teammates to come back. I was like,
I don't know who it was, but someone else did mention the fact that he was doing that. He was, because Hedman and somebody else was still on the ice, and he was just going to be the last one off. Like, he was waiting for all his team to come off and whatever.
yeah.
Everyone's making a ginormous deal about the fact that Stamkos is going to be signing somewhere else. It's just, everyone's freaking out. It's like, oh yeah, he's not going to be in Tampa anymore. It's like, no, he's going to be in Tampa. You don't just stay in a place that, I mean, you have your outcast like Patrick Kane or whatever, but he went cup chasing.
Right.
Stamkos went back to back. Kane has his multiple cups too, but like Stamkos, he's gonna be at Tampa. He's gonna retire in Tampa Bay. He's not going anywhere and whatever.
Okay,
but
sorry, I just wanted to ask that real quick.
Yeah. Then moving on to the Western Conference, because we have 3 series left. The Dallas Stars and the Vegas Golden Knights. This is, in my opinion, the second best series. I mean, it's probably going to end up being the best because Tampa and Florida ended so early. But the series is tied 2-2. It is. It wasn't the first 2 games because Vegas was just shutting down the Stars. It was insane to see. It was what we've seen all regular season. It was like the Knights were the Stars' kryptonite. They sweep them in the regular season. They were 4-0 against them. Then they won the first 2 games. And they were close games, but it was more in dominating fashion on the side of the Golden Knights.
100%.
Then the Stars were really starting to fight, and it was more 50-50 back and forth. It was high pace. This series is extremely physical. The Stars came out on top, stormed back-to-back wins to tie the series 2-2. I think this has a very good chance to go 7 games, in my personal opinion.
Yep.
Yeah, this is probably the best current series now.
Yeah, I agree. Like I said, most evenly matched, and I think it has the highest potential of going 7 games. I agree. You could flip a coin to me every night of who the fuck's gonna come out in the first period and score the first goal, and who's gonna come out and do the. Because these guys, I tell you what, man, you look, everything you said about Dallas is 100%. Like, they have been running over everyone, and the one kryptonite it was for Vegas. But do you think it was okay? They got 2 games underneath them, but now that they got Vegas down and have, like, they're just gonna run them in 6. They're taking 4. They got Vegas' number now.
No.
You don't? Okay.
The style of hockey Vegas plays is like the perfect counter for the style of hockey that the Stars play, and that is why the Stars struggle against them.
Gotcha.
And it's actually crazy to think that the 2 best series we have in playoffs is the number 1 team going against a wild card team.
Yeah, it's true.
But moving on to the next series, Vancouver and Nashville. Vancouver leads the series 3-2. Nashville powered back late to take a 2-1 win in Game 5 to save their ass with their backs against the wall. This series has been really good too. I mean, it's just Nashville is fighting pretty hard to stay alive in this, but Vancouver just overwhelms them. It's crazy because at the first half of the series, generally, the Nashville was just shutting down Vancouver's offense, and Vancouver would just have to squeak out a win, and they weren't getting a lot of shots. It's not what Vancouver has been doing all season long. I think Vancouver might just take this one in 6. Nashville can fight they're a fighting team, but I don't think it's going to get the job
That's what
done.
they did. That's what they did last night. Is exactly what you said. They kept them defensive. They kept it a very low scoring game, low shot game. Snuck out a 2-1 win. It's exactly what they did.
Yeah. What is it? Then the next up, we have the Edmonton Oilers and LA Kings. This one is probably ending Game 5.
It should be.
I mean, the King.
Come on, McDavid, you motherfucker. Do not joke this.
It was only a 1-goal game for Game 4 for the Oilers to take a 1-0 lead. The speed just continues to kill the LA Kings, but the LA Kings are having their fair share of chances, just how they play, which a lot of people criticize the Islanders for so many years for playing because they don't do anything. They just sit back, wait for you to make a mistake, and they pounce on it. But at the end of the day, speed kills, and it is the perfect counter for the way they play, especially when you have some of the fastest players in the NHL on your team. I think they take care of it in 5, and we're going to see another 5-game series in that one.
Yep, I think that I agree with everything you just said.
Yeah. Let's see, I got to go plug my computer in.
All right, are we good on? All right. Well, because it is just me, and he's got to plug his computer in, I believe there is another playoff series that he hasn't talked about. But I could be wrong. All right. Is there another series, or was that the last one?
That was the last one that's currently happening right now. The only thing that's for round 2 series is set is the Rangers in Carolina, which should be a good one. But President's Trophy curse, Carolina's probably winning it.
Yep, you're not wrong about that. It's still a thing. So before we get into the NBA playoffs, we will hit you guys with a quick little message from Sharps because, well, they're great.
Sports bettors, you need to download Sharps, the better social network. With Sharps mobile app, you can tail your friends' bets with one click. See a bet you like? Just click the whale tail icon and boom, it will open in your corresponding sportsbook. Sharp securely connects to major sportsbooks like FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, and more, so you can not only track your bets, but share your bets in creative ways. So gather the degens, download Sharps for free, and join our fast-growing sports betting community.
All right. Flip that. All right, so we have some NBA playoffs to get to, and we're gonna keep me and Luke in really quick because Jesse's shit is being weird and laggy, and I won't make Jesse or Luke talk about a bunch of shit he doesn't know. I will just quickly go through the shit that needs to be talked about. All right, so first things first is over in the NBA. I guess we'll just start it with the sweeps or eliminations. We had Oklahoma City sweeping the Pelicans 4-0. This series was not close. It was Oklahoma City being the number 1 seed and devouring the 8 seed. I mean, after the Pelicans lost a play-in game, you would assume that there would be a good chance that they don't take a game or two, and they didn't. and OKC smacked them and eliminated them, and that was that. Next thing that we have is the son of a bitch. The fucking Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Lakers, and the Nuggets won this game not in 4, but in 5. LeBron was able to squeak out a victory against Jokic and the Nuggets, so at least he can lay his head on his pillow tonight with that in his head. But at the end of the day, it was very clear watching this entire series that Jamal Murray had the Lakers number. Jokic wasn't even the main factor of this series. It was just Jamal Murray and then Jokic playing the Jokic game of, oh, I'll just give you fucking 20 rebounds because Anthony Davis and nobody else is going to be able to out-rebound me. So the Nuggets just, on the full spectrum, I was getting mad, and I'm not somebody who normally gets mad at LeBron, but I was getting mad because this motherfucker was spending more time yelling at the refs than he was fucking playing basketball. Second half of most games, especially on Fridays, especially on fourth quarters. So that was really aggravating. But yeah, Nuggets took down the Lakers. And then the next elimination that we have would be the Minnesota Timberwolves taking down the Suns. This was another sweep. And Luke, I hate to say it, but it wasn't sunny. It was in fact cloudy. And Devin Booker only came for one game of the series. KD tried to come for 2 games, but those 2 games he came for, he didn't have any fucking help. So the Timberwolves won all 4.
Honestly, I could tell you that I care, but I really don't.
I know you don't. I'm just letting you know that Devin Booker, this motherfucker, he's getting torched online because he decided to go 3 games without performing, and then in game 4 put up 48 points and then be in his press conference all upset. No, motherfucker. That's not how this works. You don't get to play that game, Devin. But that is Devin Booker's career. I mean, he has a bunch of games where he doesn't do anything. Then he has a stretch where he gets hot, and then he goes crazy for a bunch of games. And then he's very like that. When it comes to series, there's not a whole lot to preview other than when it comes to the Milwaukee-Indianapolis series. Indianapolis is up 3-2. And the fact that Indianapolis was up 3-1 and then had no Damian Lillard and no Giannis and had a situation to put them away. And there are 2 All-Stars in Tyrese Halliburton and Pascal Siakam. Both decided to not show up and both decided to shoot 5 for 12 and 6 for 14. And that didn't help anything. So now the Bucks are going to have a position where do they start or do they sit Giannis? I think they're going to probably play Giannis. And then if this game does go 7, there's no way that the Bucks don't take it in 7. So I'm worried that the Pacers might have choked away their best chance to win it all. But
hey, man, I called it. I told you Giannis was going to be coming in at the back end of this series and take surprise, bitch.
They had
and
them
then
3-1.
win the series.
They had no Dame, they had no Giannis, and they lost 115-92. And then it's like, well, what the hell? So I don't get it, but quickly, I want to talk about the Cleveland-Orlando series just because I said Orlando has no offense, and then Orlando decided to put up 110 points and 100-plus points in the next game. So my bad. I just needed you guys to cook. 112 points second game. So I just needed you guys to cook. I understand that they lost last night. They're down 3-2 in the series. They lost 104-103. It was a good game. But Orlando finally had some fucking offense, and Paolo's trying to put the team on his back. That series will probably go 7. Philly and the Knicks, quickly again. It's Tyrese Maxey versus Jalen Brunson. There's other people that are helping sometimes here and there, but it's the fucking Tyrese Maxey versus Jalen Brunson show. I'm pretty sure last night, if I go to the stat lines, Tyrese Maxey, 46 points. Jalen Brunson, 40 points. And everyone else had less than 20. These guys have just been going back and forth, 2 point guards, just daggering against each other. So that's been really fun. But I think that the Knicks are going to take it because when it comes to outside players of those 2, it has been more clear that Joel Embiid has not been as Joel Embiid as we know him to be. So that's going to play a factor. Boston should win Game 5 tonight, and they're a minus 14-point favorite against Miami tonight. God damn it, they should win. And then we have the Clippers and Dallas. That's the last series, and then I think that game is also going to go 7. That game has been to compare it in NHL terms, it's been the Stars and Vegas Knights series where very evenly matched. One team has been in front for a minute, and then that lead immediately gets blown. The Clippers blew a 30-point lead the other day. Hell yeah, we got Jesse back.
I seen you try to sneak that snack.
Well, normally there's only this much of me instead of this much of me. So
Are you on the app?
no.
No.
Well, you got it to work. All right, Jesse. We'll talk about the eliminations with you here. Starting off with the OKC and Pelicans. OKC sweep.
They never had a chance without Zion.
No, 100%. It was domination. Next sweep we have is, and be nice, the Timberwolves and the Suns. Luke said he does not care.
It went exactly as expected. That's all I'm gonna say. I called it.
It did go exactly as you said. I'll give you that. It was, they smacked him. I'll leave it at that. But we also had the Lakers and
It was just a bad matchup. Those two series were bad matchups for each of the losing teams.
Yeah, it was a mismatch. I agree. Okay, you know what was? You know what else I think was a mismatch when you were watching the game? The next one, which was Lakers Nuggets, because even though Jamal, I said this before, Jamal Murray was the key factor. Even though Jokic had 20 rebounds last night, he was the key guy in this series. Jokic was number 2, right?
Yeah.
And they could not stop Jamal Murray, especially at home.
Nope.
So my thing is, with just those two players, those two alone pretty much could have beaten the Lakers from what I've seen, because the Lakers couldn't hit a goddamn 3. They would hit maybe ones here and there, but it was so bad. I was upset watching it.
Yeah, there was nothing they could do. They were just outclassed.
Well, since Jesse's here, I'm gonna leave you 2 to basketball.
All right, sounds good, Luke. But so in my opinion, I'm finally getting to the acceptance stage of, I don't know if it's going to be very easy for this man. I knew it was going to be easy before, but I don't know if this man Brown's going to be able to go and get another ring before he calls it quits, because I feel like every year I am getting more excited, but I'm seeing less and less result. And you're going to go, how can you say that when you didn't make the playoffs? And they did? Because the last 2 years, it just felt like they had no shot against Denver.
They were just outclassed in every position.
Yes. Start to finish.
The Lakers had no solution for Michael Porter Jr., no solution for Jamal Murray, and no solution for Jokic.
Nope.
And when you don't have a solution, you got to score a bunch, and they couldn't do that.
No, you can't score a bunch when, LeBron, I love you, but god damn it, he was I knew this is when I knew that we were fucked, right? LeBron, in my opinion, in the fourth quarter, if he's making shots, we know he's going to take every shot, right? When LeBron starts missing shots and then continues to look for the fouls, doesn't get the fouls, and then starts looking at the ref, you know from there on out, it's like, oh no. Because it's like the start of the downward spiral. Because what did he do right after that? He tried to pop a 3. That was a lot farther than it should have been, and he bricked it. And I was like, no. It was bad, and I hate.
It's the Lakers.
Sorry, go ahead.
That's just the Lakers. I'm just backing you up.
I was just gonna say, I hate to say it, but I feel like there's a lot of people on this Lakers, and granted they got rid of a couple of them, but still a lot of people like Austin Reeves and Anthony Davis, LeBron James, that they might not show it, but when they get in their own head, god damn it, does it cost them a game? Oh my god, it's so.
They haven't had a point guard. They've consistently needed a point guard, and D. Russ showed up for like half of Game 5.
Yes, I will say that. Here's my thing that I'll give you. Okay, in the series against the Nuggets last year, you got 14 points out of D'Lo. Total. You got 14 total points. This year, you got those points in one game. So you can't necessarily look too much to D'Lo to be like, hey, what the hell? I agree, though. When you're getting outmatched because Jamal Murray is dropping a double-double every game and he has 32 points, you're 17 or how many wants to say 14 that he dropped last night. It doesn't mean a whole lot, which sucks, but it's the truth.
Especially when you can't defend.
Yes. Also, I know that I said I was going to talk about eliminations, but really quickly, I just want to get your thoughts on how do you feel about this almost 1v1 battle with, extra players in there. I already gave my thoughts on it, so I'll just let you shoot. On pretty much Jalen Brunson versus Tyrese Maxey. 46 points, 40 points the night before, 38 points, 30. Like they're just battling.
Maybe things will get better if Embiid can do more, but I really feel like he's getting enough points. Like, yes, he had a triple-double, but he only had, 14 points. And Maxey was just in a mode last night. There's no way he's a pull from damn near half court, down by 2 to go up by 1 kind of guy.
I was not ready for that, bro.
Every game.
Not ready for that.
It's just that he can't be that way every game, as far as I've seen.
No, and I was actually shocked at how good. Okay, so I've always known that Tyrese Maxey, to me, got a lot of points last year in the playoffs with me, right? Because they were in the situation of Harden was just being the assist guy, and Embiid. It was pretty much Embiid and Maxey, right?
Yep.
And Maxey to me made a lot of noise, but to me it felt like, okay, I knew Maxey was a good 3-point shooter, but damn, his mid-range game is fucking great. He is a great and I'm talking like he can drive, he can pull up, like his dribbles are great. I was like, wow. Very similar to how Anthony Edwards has been all year this year with me, where I'm just like, okay, your mid-range game is like Kevin Durant. Like it's really fucking good. And I think he showed that in the playoffs. Same with Tyrese Maxey. And what makes it crazy for me is how tall is Tyrese Maxey?
I think you're like 6'2".
Yeah, exactly. 6'2". He's not some Kevin Durant, Anthony Edwards, LeBron James mid-range guy that's using his 6'6", 6'7" ass to do it. He's 6'2".
But I'm going to be honest. The Knicks sold it.
You think they sold the series or the game?
They sold this game.
Okay, yeah, I agree.
In terrible fashion.
Yes. They were
You
up by
give
6
them
points
the
with 40
and
seconds.
one. Bro, that game was just... Ugh.
If you're up by 6 points with 40 seconds and fouling is still a thing, even if you're missing one of those free throws, that at one point would be a 7-point game. So the fact that you were in a spot where it was a 3-point game with them to have the last possession, and I think it was maybe a 3-4 second differential. Now, granted, I think the reason why I was more in shock why Maxey made that 3 is he popped it with so much time.
Yeah, no. He was like,
13 seconds. He just said,
I'm getting to this spot, and I'm pulling it when I get there because I'm making it.
Yes, that's exactly what he did with 13 seconds. He just popped it and said, here we go. All right, I know I lied, and I just said that was the last series I want to talk to you about. But really quickly, because you were talking to me about it before the podcast, and I quickly mentioned it, do you think if Giannis plays for the Bucks, that the Pacers might have wasted their chance to put them away in Game 5 without Giannis?
I don't, because I think the team plays better without stars. I don't know why the Bucks do it sometimes, but when they don't have Giannis, why is Bobby Portis acting like this? Who does Bobby Portis think he is dropping 25 and 12?
He dropped 29-10 last night.
They shot phenomenal. They played phenomenal. The Pacers might have a better chance with Giannis there.
Yeah.
The ball didn't get spread around as much. There's not as much who the fuck's going to be shooting the ball because all of you are a unit.
Yeah, I saw somebody on Twitter say, this is why you need Patrick Beverly at point guard.
I saw Pat Bev was shooting 4 for 5 with a tray. I'm like, hold up. Who is this man?
And I didn't really realize it until I looked at the 2 games that Dame wasn't playing, and he had 11 assists, 12 assists. I went, shit. That's
Bev doing
actually
his
a
thing.
really, really good take. Yeah. So shout out to Pat Bev, like you said. Also, another guy, the only person that I can see make threes for some reason on this team. I mean, I guess Bobby can make some. Brook Lopez. For some reason, every time he shoots a 3, he's been automatic in the playoffs. And I was like, okay, I know you've always been able to pop the 3 once or twice, but no, I think if I go to it right here, oh, fuck. Last game was the first game he shot over 3. God damn it. I just fucked my own case. But shout out to the under people, and we'll see what happens with who plays. All right. That's what we got for NBA. And quickly, before we get into the draft, I do have some MLB news. Hold up. I just remembered Tyler gave me a fucking song for baseball now, so let's hit that. Alrighty. So, first things first. Mike Trout's injured. Mike Trout is made of glass, and the jersey you're wearing, that team is made of ass. And I'm sorry to say it, and I'm sorry to clown on it, and it so happened to just be the jersey that you're wearing right now, but I'm also aware that the player you have on that jersey is not affiliated with him being there anymore. I know it's an Ohtani jersey. That's probably the better way to wear it if I'm being honest with you. But Mike Trout, he said that he is requiring knee surgery, but it is not expecting to be season ending. My question to you, should it be?
Yes. What is the point of coming back, Trout? There's no point in coming back. Just sit. Just sit. Maybe, just maybe, they'll trick themselves into believing that they'd be better off trading you. Just
Right.
sit. Just sit. Season ending. You're not going to playoffs. It's season ending.
I think Mike Trout's going to get back. He's going to look at that record. He's going to go, where are we? 4th place, 15 games back? Okay. And I'm not saying he's going to take some time off. What I'm saying is, if this becomes a situation of what was supposed to be a 3-month process now becomes a 5-month process, we don't have to play dumb. We know why.
He needs to just quit playing. Quit playing for the Angels. He needs to find a way to get out of his stupid contract and go and get out of there. Shohei saw the mistake he made and said, I'm not doing this.
Correct. Shohei said, fuck that. And I think he made the right decision. They are bad, but they are not the worst. Because we now have a new worst team in baseball. Thank God Tyler isn't here, but I know that he is watching to sadly see this. The Marlins have now become the worst team in baseball. Their record has moved to 6-24 at the time of this recording. And also, they have not made themselves any friends on Twitter by just memeing themselves. Okay, so first off, they were tied for the worst record in baseball and had the fucking audacity, winning 6-0 in the first inning, to put out a tweet saying hi. Okay? So, Will, who is somebody just on Twitter, his username is Will, just on Twitter, he replied and said, we'll blow it by the 5th inning. They did blow it by the 5th inning. It was 9-7 by the 5th inning, and that lead was no longer gone. And then at the end of the game, they had to post the final score, memed into eternity. What's the cherry on top of all of this? It happened against the Nationals, who aren't necessarily that good either.
I won't even say they jinxed themselves because it was going to happen either way. But way to serve yourself up.
It was funny is it came on my timeline because I followed the Marlins on Twitter. That tweet came on my timeline originally. And when I saw that they lost on like the MLB notification, I fucking ran to Twitter. I was like, oh my God. Because that was the first thing I thought. I go, oh my God. And luckily Twitter or X did not forget just like me. Next thing I want to talk about, and this has been quite the unexpected story here, is the American League Central. No one's talking about it. We talked about how good the Royals and the Indians or Guardians were last podcast, right? We also, or not last podcast, but last week. And then we also shined a little bit about how the Tigers were playing really well. Well, on top of that, the Minnesota Twins are now on a 9-game winning streak, their best since 2011. And if you pull up the AL Central standings, you have the Guardians 19-9, the Tigers, who just won, so it's 17-12, Royals 17-13, Minnesota 16-13, and one of the weakest series for the past 2 or 3 years in baseball right now is the most competitive series in the American League. Who would have thunk it?
We've played too many of each other in the first bits of games. We gotta wait till we're
too many divisional games.
We gotta wait till we're in the 60s. Then we'll see where everyone stands.
Okay, this is something I wanted to point out because I was going through just divisions and I was like, that's the best winning percentage in American League divisions. You know how normally they have the lowest winning percentage.
What about National League divisions?
It would be. Do I have to tell you? I think you can guess. I'll give you a hint. It's in a very similar boat in the National League. They just don't have the White Sox. They have the Rockies, which is just as shitty.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
So that series with the although the Diamondbacks, I don't want to talk about this because it's early, but Corbin Carroll's hitting 190 with 1 home run, 5 RBIs, and he has 110 at-bats. I don't know what's going on there. Tyler called it a sophomore slump, but weird. Anyways, moving on. We only have 2 more things, I believe. And we do. All right. Speaking of the Arizona Diamondbacks, they made some headlines last night because they had an MLB game that was scheduled for 9:40 that ended up starting at 10:20. There was a 40-minute delay, and you might be confused. Doesn't really rain like that in Arizona. No, this was the tweet that was posted by the Arizona Diamondbacks. Tonight's game has been delayed due to a bee colony forming on the protective netting behind home plate. If you take a look at this bee colony that was forming behind home plate, they didn't mess around. They took full authority of, we're setting up shop here, and it became a 40-minute ordeal where a beekeeper had to come in, put it out, yada, yada, okay? The reason why I want to talk about this and what made this a story is the shout out to the Arizona Diamondbacks Twitter, because the entire game, as they were losing, they were making bee references. We'll come back buzzing. Don't stop. Like, something about honey, and they something else. Okay? Then they had a comeback to walk it off. So the Twitter is talking about some never stop bee leaving. It's a whole thing. It's a story in baseball. How the game might not have happened. It almost got postponed because there was a bee infestation. They do play the game. The Diamondbacks have a walk-off. And it's a great night in baseball, and it makes for a great story, like a Black Cat situation. So.
Beautiful.
I was just going to say, I just want to talk about that because I thought it was great.
But shout out to the beekeeper.
Yeah, for real. Last thing in the MLB. Did you see the brawl in Milwaukee?
No, I did not see the Milwaukee mow down.
Okay, so yesterday in Milwaukee, I will explain the situation. This is not you need a breakdown and what really happened. And I can tell you exactly what happened start to finish right now. So we had a situation with Jose Siri and Abner Uribe, who is a rookie for the Minnesota or Milwaukee Brewers, if you don't know who that is. He was playing first base for the Brewers, and earlier in the game, there was a bad call against Uribe. It pissed him off. He was mad against the umps, so he's already angry, right? Already in that pissy mindset of just, I'm mad because the umps fucked me over, right? So he's playing first base, and then Jose Siri gets walked. And as he gets to first base, For some reason, Uribe says something to him. You can clearly say Uribe says something to him immediately. And then Siri's like, what the fuck type thing? Like, what are you talking about? And then out of nowhere, Uribe punches him in the face. Well, what the fuck? And then Siri pushes him, and then it became a whole thing where everyone comes out and separates them, right? So they interview them after the game, and they originally start by interviewing Jose Siri, and he says, when I went to first base, I got there kind of normal, didn't think anything of it, and then he kind of just tagged me on the shoulder and asked why, and I asked him, why did you do that? Why did you touch me? And he said, because I felt like it. Are you going to do something about it? They then asked Abner Uribe his side of the story, and he said, I think there were some words shared that didn't really have much to do with the game. You know, just one of those moments where I got into a heated situation. What are you going to do? I'm not one to put two and two together here, but from what I'm gathering, Abner threw a hissy fit. He's in a bad mood. He's pissed off. He got heated. He was in a, what are you going to do about it type thing. Threw a punch, and then pretty much explained that to the media, was saying, it's just one of those moments that, you know, you get into a heated altercation. What are you going to do? Do you think I'm viewing this right? Do you think I'm viewing this wrong? I mean,
I think he was just having a bad day.
He was. No, he was. He was in a bad mood. He was pissed off at the umps, and then everyone on Twitter was like, this is when the umps can ruin the game because one call like this can lead to this. And it's like, I mean, I guess, but at the same time, I don't see anybody else doing this. So, like,
yeah, I'm not going to blame that one on umps.
I can't really blame that. You know what I mean? I can't really blame that one on the ump. I got to blame that one on bro, because you get in somebody's face. He's like, what the fuck? You're like, do something about it. He's like, no. And then you punch him. He didn't even do anything about it. But I digress. We'll move on. That's the MLB. And lastly, but not leastly, Tyler's not here. But we have 7 people watching. And shout out to the 7 people that are currently watching.
I can tell you something about the draft real quick.
What's
just
up?
A little funny thing. I don't know if you guys were able to see it when it was on the Falcons Instagram, but the Falcons, when they had put out Michael Penix, number 8, welcome to the Falcons, somebody put an S instead of an X, and we didn't get a proofread, so it was Michael Penis, and yeah.
I did see that. We got Michael Penis. That was great.
That's going to be a meme for the rest of his career. Every time he does bad, we're probably going to see that somewhere.
Yeah.
Hope that editor still has his gig.
I agree. And we're going to get into the drafts. As you see on the bottom of the screen, there were the odds for the top 10. And I think it's just fun to put those on the screen now, knowing that we have the picks that we have. So we're going to do this how we normally do. We're going to talk about the most notable picks of the first round and then any other big notable picks that happen. And we'll try to get this all done in 15-ish, 20 minutes. First things first, Jesse. I just want to start off by saying shout out to Detroit. And
I got to dip out.
All right,
Peace.
have a good one, Luke. We'll see you.
Have a good one.
All right. Just want to start off by saying shout out to Detroit for breaking the record for 700,000 people. That shit was insane. When we come, I love that when we do big things for sports, we normally show out. And once again, we showed the fuck out. So shout out to Detroit really quick. I want to say that. All right. Round 1, pick 1, Caleb Williams, expected. Round 2, Jaden Daniels, expected. Round 3, Drake May, expected. Round 4, Marvin Harrison Jr., expected. Okay? This was the first pick at number 5 where they basically were going to see what are they going to do, and they did the smart thing. Chargers took Joe Alt, number 5, best offensive tackle. I was pissed as a Titans fan. So if you want to give any credit to the Chargers, Jesse, now's your time.
I respect the pick to, keep your quarterback safe. I was thinking wide receiver, but you slept out in the end, so I'm not mad about it. But at the time, I was like, you guys might miss somebody that it's going to be gone.
Yeah. Next pick, number 6, and this one was controversial to some, but that's more of personal preference. Malik Neighbors was drafted, and the only reason why it was controversial to opinionated, like I said, was because a lot of people expected this to be Rome Odunze.
If we're being honest here, people can feel however they wanted to between those two. Some people also think Malik Neighbors was better than Harrison. So it's a point of preference.
That's also true. Do you think that this was a good move? Because I think it works. It would have worked either way. Either way, they're going to get a star wide receiver. And that's
either way, they're getting one of the top 3.
Now I got to ask you.
Deep wide receiver draft.
Have you seen the memes about him?
No.
Okay, so it has been going viral that for the past week over videos, he has been not shit-talking Danny Dimes, but you can clearly tell he does not like that Daniel Jones is his quarterback. Every time he's asked about the quarterback situation, he's like, when he was originally talked about, he came out and he said, well, when the Giants talked to me about coming here, they basically talked about the fact that a quarterback situation change was going to happen. And, you know, that sold me. And I was like, hell yeah. And then there was another clip of him during the draft when they brought it up again. And he was like, yeah, I'm not sure what they're doing. I'm not sure what's going on there. I heard that, you know, it might still be Daniel Jones type thing. And then the most recent clip that everyone's like, okay, he does not like, bro, is everyone in the comments was like saying shit about Daniel Jones. And then the boy that was with him was like, oh, yeah, isn't that who's throwing to you, Daniel Jones? And he started laughing and immediately ended the live stream. And everyone was like, all right, bro, like, we can clearly tell, like, you're making jokes.
Yeah, because Danny Dimes is not an elite-level quarterback. An elite wide receiver wants to go play with an elite quarterback. He doesn't want to play with some middle-of-the-pack bum who somehow found his way into making so much money a year because the Giants couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
You don't have Saquon behind you. You have Danny Dimes and a bunch of receivers whose potential is high, but their injuries are higher.
I think that's actually perfectly said.
So I don't even know what they're going to do. Malik Neighbors was a waste of a pick.
Because you don't have a quarterback.
You don't have someone to throw to him. You barely have someone to protect him. You don't have anybody to run behind him.
Which is shocking because we saw 7 quarterbacks taken in the first 15 picks, and they were in the first 15. They didn't take a quarterback.
And one of the best quarterbacks was taken in the 5th round.
Yeah. We will get to that. Next, we had, just quickly because I'm a Titans fan, J.C. Latham. I basically said get Joe Alder, get J.C. They made the right pick. They need O-line. They got O-line. Number 7, like you mentioned before, or number 8, like you mentioned before, not Michael Penix, Michael Penix. And Michael Penix made some headlines because nobody thought after the $118 million 4-year contract Kirk Cousins got, the Falcons were going quarterback round 1. Now, we know that even the head coach and the owner were confused, but the GM is the man with the plan and says that he has saw what they did with Jordan Love in the Packers. He likes that format. He likes that approach, and he wants to try it with Kirk and Penix.
My problem is you chose the oldest one besides Bo Nix.
I would have understood this if you would have done like JJ.
He's young. JJ's already taken. They couldn't have done that. I would have.
No. JJ was at 10.
Oh yeah, he was
there.
He was 2 more picks.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I wouldn't have went with Penix because Penix. All right, you have Kirk, who's coming off of a season-ending injury. You have Penix, who's came off of 3 or 4 season-ending injuries every year of college.
A lot of people when they saw that ESPN graphic, they were like, "Oh my god, I didn't know Penix had so many injuries." It's like, yeah, that's why this motherfucker isn't in a regular draft class, and he is healthy. He is behind Caleb Williams. He's number 2.
Yeah, he's the number 2 quarterback without injury history.
100%.
But his injury history pushed him back.
Yes. So, and I agree with you because I think if you take Michael Penix Jr., okay, J.J. McCarthy, Bo Nix, and I'll even throw in
Spencer Rattler.
I'll even throw in Spencer Rattler, right? Out of all those quarterbacks, if I were to tell you who's going to be the one that's the backup role in there, you're not saying Penix. You're saying, oh, Rattler's going to learn for a couple of years, or Bo Nix, or etc. You're not saying Michael Penix. So I thought that was weird because Penix seemed like one of the few quarterbacks where
if that's their plan, I would have went JJ.
Yes, I would have done JJ. So then
JJ is
number 9,
the best one out of them to where you sit him behind somebody for a couple years. Penix has got age. Bo's got age. You want to start those guys.
Yes, I agree. So then we had Rome Odunze at number 9 to the Bears, which I thought good pick by them. And then JJ went to number 10 at Minnesota. So we have the Vikings with Vikings with JJ. You're shaking your head no.
Because this NFC North, baby.
Yeah.
NFC North and AFC North. Look at the most competitive divisions in football.
Yes, after this draft, from what I've seen online, I would actually agree with that. I think this could be the most competitive division. They just added Aaron Jones and now JJ.
They're rookie quarterbacks. Will they play well because they're in good systems for their styles? What's going to happen?
Yeah, I agree. I think that, honestly, JJ, I don't want to say a whole lot about him because so many questions, so many different things in my mind. I'm going to wait till preseason. I really am with him. We had number 12, Bo Nix, going to the Denver Broncos. And I was so excited as a Bo Nix guy that he got drafted to Denver. And then for some reason, the second they showed his picture, and I realized, holy shit, you look just like Drew Lock. I lost all faith. I don't know why.
That's messed up.
I don't know why. But the second I was like, God, you look just like Drew Lock. I don't feel good anymore.
He also looks like Peyton with a smaller head.
I guess you could say that, but Bo Nix to me is going to be a Jameis Winston over on the Broncos first year. I think he's going to give you a lot of touchdown passes. Okay. Sam Howell, better example. A lot of yards, a lot of touchdown passes, but he's going to give you a lot of interceptions too. He likes to throw that thing. And now that he's going to be over in a what has to be wide receiver heavy room with who the fuck is their running back right now? I can't even think of him.
They have number 22 or 20, Javonte Williams.
Yes, Javonte. And Javonte's all right, but like they are not a run heavy offense with Javonte. So he's going to be able to throw it a lot there, which I think is what they wanted.
They dealt Judy. All they have is Sutton.
Well, I understand that, but I was expecting them to do something in free agency the second the draft is over, and we still got 3 or 4 key wide receivers. I know that this might not be a popular opinion. I think they could be somebody that takes Odell. I know it not what you want to hear, but I do think they could be somebody who takes Odell and just gives them a 1-year type deal. So, moving on to 13, I want to give your take on what the Raiders are doing. Because some people are like, ooh, they might be surprising people. And some people are like, oh, who gives a shit? This is like when the Pistons drafted Cade and you were like, look at their lineup and they were mid. They took Brock Bowers at number 13. So now they're in a situation where they have Alexander Madison, RB1, either no disrespect to, what's his name? God damn it, that played last year. But Gardner Minshew's probably going to be the starter for Las Vegas. And then you have Michael Mayer and Brock Bowers teaming up with Devontae. So how do you feel about this? Vegas off. I don't know how I feel.
They took best player available, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if they're in a position to be making moves like that. They're pretty bad all around, in my opinion. But I guess when you have Max Crosby, you don't think you need cornerbacks? I don't know.
Yeah, back-to-back years, first year or back-to-back years of taking a top 5 tight end. So we'll see if that pays off. I mean, they got rid of Darren Waller, and now they got 2 top 5 rated in their respective draft classes tight ends. So, I think Brock is going to be a force. But the thing is that Brock scares me if it's not Minshew. I mean, the other way around. Brock only I feel better if it's not Minshew because of the
Quinn Ewers 2025 Raiders quarterback because they will be picking top 3.
All right. I think that's really all I have to say on that. Moving on down, we have the next pick that was a high-profile pick just because he stayed on the board as long as he did, and that was Dallas Turner going to Minnesota at number 17, the number 1 defensive edge for a lot of people out of Alabama, and he fell to Minnesota. So scary, but going off your point of the NFC North getting bolstered, that was a great pick there. Next, moving on, we have this pissed me the fuck off. We'll talk about just both of them back to back. The Eagles got Quinion Mitchell at number 22, and then also managed to get Cooper DeJean at number 40 in round 2. So the Eagles took my rated 2 out of top 3 cornerbacks in the draft. A lot of people agreed with me on that too. Like, that's not just a personal opinion. That's
that's how a lot of people felt that they were the 2 best
so
corners.
the Eagles got Quinion and Cooper. I mean, fuck.
I ain't worried about him.
Did I shit on their secondary last year and the fact that it completely fell off? Like, the last 5 games of the season, including playoffs, that defense just went. I mean, it was bad. So I get why they're in this immediate, like, we're taking the number 1 corner and we're taking the number 2 or number 3. Like, I don't give a shit.
Yeah, because now they have Slay, Kenyon, your Nichols, Cooper, your safeties are set.
Yeah.
In a good spot if everybody leads to potential.
Yeah, and then speaking of cornerbacks, we go to pick number 24 with the Detroit Lions selecting Terrion Arnold. And I have a secret that I didn't tell Tyler at the draft, and if he's watching, he's going to find out right now. We got 9 people watching. Shout out. And I had him rated 5th for corners.
You want to hear me out? Okay.
Yep.
This is going to sound crazy. This is going to sound ridiculous.
Okay.
I forgot about Terrion after the season, but I remembered his play in the season.
Okay.
So I felt like he was a top 3 corner in my eyes because Kool-Aid McKinstry only gave up 1 touchdown, yes. But that's because of what Terrion was doing on the other side. I don't think Terrion was bad. I don't think he is bad. I think he is...
I had him 4, my bad.
More of a hybrid corner in a good way. Like, he can press you. He can stay with you. And he can play zone well. So I think he fits into our scheme well. And some people had him rated as a 1B with Kenyon. Cooper DeJean just did so great at Iowa.
Yeah.
And I mean...
Hey, I'm not going to sit here and go against the Alabama draft method of what Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes have done because it's worked. I'm not going to sit here and say anything about it because they have gone heavy on first-round picks out of Alabama. And from what we've seen so far, that's helped us more than it's hurt us. So if that's the approach we're staying with, I hope that it helps us more than it hurts us. We took another cornerback later in the draft because, we're going to talk about the Lions really quickly.
I also liked him.
I was going to say, we'll talk about the Lions really quickly. They got an A draft grade, which I haven't seen the Lions get in years.
Yeah,
So,
remember, last year they gave Jahmyr Gibbs a D.
Yeah, they thought that we fucked up last year, and now they're like, there's a lot of players that we don't know, but we're trusting that they're going to be what they should be because Brad Holmes has a method through his madness here. But like I said, really quickly, we'll just go over the fact that they picked up Terrion Arnold, and then also they picked up Ennis Rakestraw Jr. That was the other cornerback that we were talking about that you also really like. They picked up 2 big, beefy boys on the line, one on the offensive tackle spot, one on the defensive tackle spot, McKay Ringo out of LSU. And then we also have a running back / safety / what he will probably be on our team is a kick return specialist guy. But yeah, it was a good draft.
He's not that fast.
That's what I was thinking, but
he has good short splits.
I don't know what else we would use him for.
No, I'm saying though, like he's a kick returner, but the only reason I'd see him playing safety is because he is good in short spaces.
Okay, that makes sense.
He's a good end zone corner.
Right. And
end zone safety.
I guess, but I can't speak too much on it because I haven't seen it. But
yeah, he won't get the PT because we have the safeties, but he
Yeah.
can be there.
All right, and then moving out of the first round, it's hour 10. Yeah, get out of here by an hour 20. I like that. That feels good. Well, actually, I said moving out of the fucking first round, but if I'm being honest, I think there was actually one more pick I wanted to talk about in the first round. Yes, I did. Really quickly, how the fuck did we let the Chiefs get the guy with the fastest 40-yard dash time in NFL history?
Because they
Xavier Worthy.
got Tyreek. They needed to add another spicy speedster.
How the fuck did we let that happen, man? We did. The second that happened, it was like, really? A lot of people were like, I hate the NFL.
And
But
it's
yeah.
crazy because didn't the Bills trade them that pick?
Yup, the Bills traded them that pick to give them Xavier Worthy, and then the Bills, who needed to take a wide receiver. So here's what the Bills did, right? Bills around the clock take a wide receiver, okay? Xavier Worthy was there, and they said, no, thank you. We're going to trade that to the Chiefs. They can take Worthy, okay? Then they were back on the clock. They traded that one spot back to the Panthers, so the Panthers can move up and take Xavier Legette. Then with their next pick, they took Keon Coleman. And I love Keon Coleman. I've been very high on him. But I don't understand the method of, here, we're going to give you Worthy. We're going to give you, maybe we'll take Keon, because they didn't get a lot of draft capital out of it. They got an extra pick.
They felt they needed it.
I guess, but yeah, I agree. After day one, me and Tyler were like, what the fuck are the Bills doing? Quickly, moving on, we have, top wide receiver. This wide receiver class is so stacked that that's just what it is. So Ladd McConkey going to the Chargers. We had Adonai Mitchell going to the Colts. And
Love that for him, by the way.
I thought it was great too. I know Luke isn't here, but the only pick that he probably would give a shit about is we had Blake Corum going to the Rams.
Him and Kyron Williams. That could be nice.
I think that's a great duo. I think that's very, what's the word I'm looking at? Swift and Jamal Williams-esque. Two young guys, put them in, and they're going to get 50-50s. I'm telling you, Corum is going to get a lot more probably of like the red zone heavy, whereas Bro's probably going to get a lot more of the.
Oh no, Kyron did so much. Because
Kyron creates. Listen. Because Kyron creates a lot of space. He's good at creating a lot of space, and then in the red zone, that's when they would just plug in one of their 3 or 4 running backs and get a rushing touchdown. That's what they would do a lot of the time.
Yeah, I just feel like Kyron did so much for them. They might not 50-50 split. It's definitely going to be 75-25, and Corum's going to have to earn that.
Yeah, somebody else is a little excited about Minnesota. May or may not have called him after he got drafted. Those of you who don't know, Zach Fuller, friend of ours, who has commented, he's a Michigan guy. He's a Michigan fan. He's also a Minnesota guy and a Minnesota fan. So he got J.J. McCarthy to the Vikings, and he was quite happy about the whole situation. So shout out to Fuller.
It's okay. You guys will be good soon, but not next year.
Cheer. JJ's gonna look. Did you see him showing up to his first press conference or first day at the facility? His fucking pants were too big. His suit was too big. It looked like a kid coming to his first day of fucking work. It was hilarious. All right. Really quick. I keep saying really quick because I feel like I'm trying to rush myself, but we really only have like 2 or 3 things left. You're gonna make me talk about him, and I hate you for it, but we're gonna do it. Spencer Rattler got drafted.
Listen, we don't need to go over this a bunch. I understand. All I'm saying is he used to be a top 2 talent.
Yeah.
He had an attitude problem.
Correct.
He had an attitude problem. He went to a shitty South Carolina squad with no O-line, with hella people problem. Got all that good. Learned a whole bunch of stuff. Got a new experience. Seems a lot more humble. And I think he's a steal.
He's a new man.
Because he's been through good. He's been through shit. Before he's hit the NFL. A lot of players just get the good.
I'll give you that he has at least been through it as terms of
adversity.
Yeah. I'll give you that. Next, we have round 5, pick 171, Jordan Travis, quarterback out of FSU. And this is a quarterback that, if he did not break his leg, probably would have been number 5 for a lot of people's draft rankings, number 5 or number 6, depending on where you would have ranked him, potential Heisman Trophy candidate. But because he broke his leg, there's a lot of questions surrounding Jordan Travis. I think this is actually a great spot for him. I like him in New York. I like him with the Jets. I like him backing up Aaron Rodgers. I think this is good. You with me?
Yeah, I like it. I do like it.
Is this the last thing that we have? I'm just making sure that it is. Yes, sir. All right, so the last thing that we have is Notre Dame quarterback. This is the last, I guess, notable piece that was Notre Dame quarterback Sam Hartman went to the Commanders, which for some reason I felt like was a perfect fit for him. I don't know why. It just felt like it was. Tell me that man doesn't look like he's perfect in Washington. I don't know why. He just does.
I hate it.
Why? Why do you? I really am interested in this.
This is my problem. You didn't take Drake May because you didn't want another Sam Howell. There's no point in that. And then you take Sam Hartman, which is just another Sam Howell. He's not playing any different. He's not playing any better. He gives you nothing new. He's not worth it.
Yes. They could have went with the aggressive, high-profile quarterback approach. But here's the thing. They went Jaden Daniels.
So why do you need Hartman?
That was going to be my...
You have Howell.
It's done? Are we just done with, bro?
Do they not realize, maybe if he didn't get sacked 54 times,
that's not fair to him.
White Cook, a quarterback.
That's not fair to bro. We can't just be like, oh, you got sacked all this time and still was second in the league in passing.
Oh my God. He almost took this squad of mosh-pitted receivers to the playoffs while getting sacked all this time.
Yeah.
And we're going to back him up. We're going to put a backup of him and put a backup to him.
Yeah.
He's got a backup, and he's got a guy ahead of him. But he almost got his...
The backup to his backup. 100%. Last two things to end the pod here. Draft is done. This is not draft news. This is different NFL-related news. Firstly, we have, believe it or not, Travis Kelce is now the highest paid tight end in the league. He got a 2-year contract extension, making him the highest paid tight end in the league. So, I mean, are we surprised? No. And then Mahomes tweeted right afterwards saying, I wouldn't let my boy go. I told y'all I wouldn't let my boy go. So, yeah.
2-year deal. So Chiefs are contenders for 2 more years and we'll revisit.
But
imagine if the Chiefs could have somehow got Brock Bowers.
That would have been crazy. And I think the problem is that the Chiefs are almost like, we can use... Here's what's so fucked up, and I hate to say this because it doesn't work like this for any other team. If Kelce's hurt, we've seen last year when we have our tight end 2 or tight end 3 and people who can't catch, we can still win. We don't really need wide receivers and tight ends. They just help. They just help us win, but we don't need them. And then last thing to close out the pod, this has to be the last thing to close the pod. It is the biggest piece of breaking news in the NFL. It is bigger than when Jerry Rice returned. It is bigger than when what's his name? When Garoppolo, returned. It is Ezekiel Elliott, bigger than Cam Newton returning. Ezekiel Elliott returning to the Cowboys, baby. Big Zeke is back. Feed Zeke is back on the Cowboys. He has agreed to terms with a 1-year deal, and he is wearing number 15. Feed Zeke is back in Dallas, baby.
I thought Antonio Brown was playing again, but I have to say, the Cowboys just realized, they're like, you know what? It wasn't Zeke's fault. He looked like he was having fun in New England, and Tony could barely run to save his life. All right, Zeke, you still got some wheels. How about another year? I'm sorry.
I thought it was so funny that everybody in the comments is like, he's back.
I hope he finishes better than Tony Pollard.
It's so I just imagine all the Ezekiel Elliott fans that got rid of their jersey are sitting at home right now like, fuck.
How could we not see this coming? How could we not?
I burned my Zeke jersey just for him to come back. But I think that's a great way to end the podcast. We had to do the draft, a two-man boat there, but I think we rocked it out pretty good there, Jesse. I think we covered that. As well as we could have. Something else that's entering your mind?
Panthers, you did well. With all the problems you have, with all the holes in your lineup, you guys will at least have receivers for your quarterback to throw to. Bravo.
Yeah, the Panthers actually did.
Nope. Don't give them any more friendliness.
Okay, let me just look at
That's
their
all
picks
they
real
got.
quick. Let me just look at their picks. They did okay.
Yep. That's it. Like I said, at least he's got wide receivers to throw to.
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
All right, Dylan.
All right, that is all we got. Jesse, I assume you're gonna sign out here, but I appreciate you.
No, Dylan, you're gonna sign us out. That's why I said, all right, Dylan.
Yeah. All right. So with that, thank you guys for watching the podcast. I appreciate it. Tycho and the regular four-man squad should be back this Saturday. There was no podcast last Saturday because there was a draft happening in Detroit, so it was pandemonium and it was chaos. But we'll get things settled, we'll get things going, and everything will be back on track. If you want to check us out over on the socials, please do so. You can check us out over at Sharps Network, SharpsNetwork. That is Sharps Network on X, Twitter, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Sharp, or on, not on Sharps. We'll download the Sharps betting app over on the App Store, but on Twitch. That's what I meant to say. We appreciate you guys watching the podcast. If you are not subscribed or not following or not liking this video, just do it right now. We'd appreciate it. It doesn't take any time. It doesn't cost any money. And like I said before, download the Sharps betting app on the App Store. Use promo code TYCO01. That will help you a great deal. We will see you guys Saturday. I'm McDilly. You guys have a good one. Peace.
Sports bettors, you need to download Sharps, the better social network. With Sharps mobile app, you can tailor your friends' bets with one click. See a bet you like? Just click the whale tail icon and boom, it will open in your corresponding sportsbook. Sharps securely connects to major sportsbooks like FanDuel, MGM, Caesars, and more, so you can not only track your bets, but share your bets in creative ways. So gather the degens, download Sharps for free, and join our fast-growing sports betting community.